Are you there? Hi.
Hey there.
I think it's a phone app that I have. I think it's working, so we'll see. Hopefully it is. I tested it with Lisa before your call just to make sure, but it didn't quite follow the same procedure as right now, so I don't know.
Honey, thank you. And if we need to, we can do this in a couple of calls. I just have to wait 30 minutes in between.
Okay. Well, I'm here for the duration, so whenever you need.
Okay. So things are getting very interesting. You have the ones that essentially ordered need to be put in here, and for this whole thing to happen, are now experiencing the full, complete flow of recent choices. So anything that stems through that path, sort of like the destination, so to speak, of the consequences.
Right.
And they're not liking what the full flow of those consequences are. So they're actually in reassessing alliances, reassessing choices that have been made, and even there was speaking of, there was actual talk of just canceling the case altogether.
Okay.
And moving forward with everyone having unfettered access and facilitation of their accounts.
With no hoops?
No, it's just complete unfettered access.
Okay, got it.
And facilitation.
Okay. And facilitation, okay.
Right. To go in and basically do all the restructures, because I've also been in here working on restructuring of basically to deal with issues of drug abuse, as well as prisons. So what do you do getting people out, going to Susie's questions from the original room, right?
Yep.
And other people's concerns. Lisa Harrison had mentioned that question. So we've actually been in here working very diligently on all those issues.
Okay.
In preparation for implementation. And for instance, I'll give you an example, like for drug use. Most people use drugs to escape the reality that they feel is the only reality.
Right.
And so what happens is you take full resources and network to go in and actually create whole new realities. Ones that they don't want to escape from, ones that are empowering, ones that are fun, exciting, and fulfilling. So that's just one example. And then as far as doing assessments while I'm in here, man, there's so much awareness that these people, whether it's the women or the men that I've had experiences with, whether they are in position of inmate or officer, corrections officer, whatever it might be, law enforcement, quote unquote, there is so much awareness here, and people are working with what they can in this moment, and they totally get everything that's going on. They know this is a huge bank, basically, and that they're all being sold like cattle. They already knew this stuff.
Right.
It was the solutions that they didn't have a grasp on. And so as we've talked about them and discussed, and of course I've sat with quite a few of them, it was amazing. It's amazing. So
Excellent.
As far as old arguments of incompetency and incapability and all that, it's hogwash.
Right. Right.
And not being nice about it.
Right. Okay. And what's your thought on how close they are to getting off the dime here, and instead of talking about it, doing it?
Actually, really quickly, because what has been happening for some time, but now it's happening on a mass scale because of this huge outburst of awareness. Okay? And in all transparency, my being in prison, detained unlawfully, and all of that it was designed as a catalyst.
Right.
Okay? So regardless of any kind of title of villainry or anything else, just remember everyone's original, and everyone worked to make sure that this went as fast as possible.
Yes.
Okay? In that regard, people are experiencing, literally, when you make a choice, obviously, it's sort of like switching streets.
Mm-hmm.
You choose your destination. You say, okay, I want to go this way. And then when you actually make a choice, you change the street. And it either takes you further away from your destination that you've got to travel more, and it could be difficult, more difficult road, etc. People are going, ooh, I do not like this experience. And these are very aware people. These are families that have been trained in alchemy to some degree or some level. Secret societies, etc.
Right.
And they are not, when they go through this, because of their, number one, they are more aware in certain aspects, but they're also more limited in other aspects because of the schools of belief that they've been raised in.
Right.
Okay? And what they're experiencing right now is when they make a choice, they're experiencing all the way to the destination of that, what that one choice just altered. And in the last 72 hours, some significant choices were made that basically cause them to now question their alliances,
Okay.
as well as the choices that they've made, and the fact that they can actually basically alter the path they're on by just making another new choice.
Right.
Consciously being the writer, the director, and the actor. Because
Right.
when you plop someone like me into their play, and I say, great, I'll amplify. Let's rock and roll. All of a sudden, everything that, usually it used to take a long time for the actual consequences to be felt.
Yes.
When you put someone in like me that's very aware of how this works, and I amplify consciously, they feel the effects immediately. And those effects feel like eternity.
Yes.
So at this point, they're going, oh, fuck, we need to change this. We don't like this.
Cancel, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cancel that. And meanwhile, I'm sitting in here, which does, it's all great. It's all perfect and perfectly done. But I'm not going to let anyone hurt humanity or hurt all of existence to benefit a few. We're done with that storyline.
Right. That's over.
But I've also gone in and made sure that everyone wins, including those that played the role of villain or villainry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't sit there and pick and choose. Oh, this one was a bad boy, so I'm not going to secure them and their property. No, I went and did everyone.
Right.
From that beautiful man, Charlie C. Miller's original work that he did with actually people from, regarding the Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, etc. I mean, everyone actually worked on all of this.
Right.
That's what's so important to remember. It's not just one person, it's all of us together.
Right. Right.
Okay? This is the most unity, the most awareness, and the most utilization of being original that's ever been experienced in all of existence.
Say that one more time, just in case the recording isn't going, and even if it is, let's get that again.
This is, and I may not repeat it completely,
That's okay.
like I did before, but this is the most awareness.
Unity.
It is the most utilization of being original, and it's the most unity ever experienced in all of existence.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And the more amplification people do with complete awareness, the faster this goes.
So they're actually now having fun playing the amplification game all over the place, and they're having conversations amongst themselves. What can we can amplify here or play? They don't use that word, but that's exactly what they're doing, and they're playing. They're doing it joyfully, so it's great.
Oh yeah, and it is noticed, it is felt, and it is revered. Humanity has never been so revered in all of existence as it is right now, and it's changing all of existence. So my hat's off to everyone, and there's nothing I won't do for everyone, and that's, I do get a little dramatic in my approaches sometimes.
Okay, come on, Heather. There's some people who don't know you well. You scare the shit out of them, but it's okay. They're learning the game now.
Oh my God! When you know that nothing is real,
right? That's right.
You have the maximum fun, and Yeah, I mean, I will admit to being a drama queen. Like I said, I will do rehab for it afterwards. But let's finish all this, please.
Yes.
So no, it's well worth it. I do have Lisa, Shannon, and Bill are actually working on what needs to be filed into the Tennessee case. Through the non-proton praeterea, everything's already been settled 4.5 years ago.
Right.
So these cases actually don't even, there is no federal government. There is no U.S. Or U.S. Corp or any of that. And that's not just here. That's also any and all international equivalents. And they have not been able to reincorporate them at all.
Right.
They can't because
right.
Right.
There was a headline that the IMF has a new program that they have cashless assistance.
Yeah, that was already foreseen and foretold. So we took care of it in those filings.
Right. No, but I'm laughing because they don't have any cash. They can't assist them with cash because they don't got it.
No, it's like Putin. I love Putin, right? They are my favorites. The only one that's probably more of a drama queen than me would be Nene, right, from Israel.
Yeah.
And although Putin he's this fantastic character, and then you put Trump on top of that, and you have some real fun, right? Well, you have Putin that went from I have all the toys and I'm going to be the new peacekeeper to, and we have gold. Russia and China were said to have the most gold, physical gold, and holdings and blah, 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 and then they don't have any gold, right? Because all of a sudden they're saying, BRICS and AIIB, and then you have on July 14th, I have the director of finance for CINA, for the Chinese state court, going, they just ordered me to dump all the holdings for AIIB. Right. The bank is crashing, and they haven't even opened it yet.
Right.
Right? And then you have Russia saying, we're going to create cryptocurrencies, and then 2 weeks later you have crash of all cryptocurrency markets. This is the stuff that we are, this is the original network going in and saying, no more. These glitches that supposedly all these systems are having, which they usually didn't report for 10 months to a year, and then they lied about what it was about.
Right.
That was the original network going in, going, what you thought you had control over, you don't. Your systems reside in our systems, and only original flows. And that's where we are. That's where everything is.
Yeah, and because, it's, I think one of the things that's helpful for people to understand with the picture that you just painted is that original is it's energy, it's vibrations. So we can be within a zeros and ones binary construct within these systems of, supposedly computer bits and bytes, and it just flows through and it aligns any code, anything that's been put through to the correct alignment of original now.
Well, yeah.
You have 1 minute left.
What I'll do is I'll call you back in a half hour, and we'll start with that.
Okay.
That's very important to understand in this moment. All the bodies that are not going to, that are trying to limit original from being, are actually literally consciousness is leaving the form.
Right.
And we'll go into that, and then, of course, any questions that you have for me from anybody, we can go over as well.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to set the intention right now. When I hang up, this recording will have worked, and we'll be all set for the next one.
Sounds good, honey. I'll call you back in about 30, 35 minutes.
All right, great. Love you. Bye.
Love you, too. Bye.
The caller has hung up.
Hi. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready. Off you go.
Let's see. If I remember correctly, we said we would start, basically on how everyone, they are transmitting. Everything you are transmitting in this moment is changing the fabric of all that is.
All right.
So all of this awareness, and with lack of fear, there's so much that's been transmuted and so many operating just in complete peace and calm and confidence. that where there used to be fear that was relied upon, that would be in the formula, it's no longer there.
Right, and there isn't. It's not 100%, but we're seen to be running at about 75, 85%. There isn't vengeance either. There is,
No?
yep, okay, stop now. I love you. Let's go. Let's stand up and let's do this.
Exactly. These are if you were to put percentages on it, I mean, I'm telling you, it's never been experienced before where there's been this lack of fear and this compassion. Never, ever, ever has it been experienced at these quote-unquote levels before.
Right.
And it's fantastic. It's amazing. And it's inspiring everyone to go even faster. They're not worried so much about being gentle anymore. It's just get it done. And
yeah.
we can party about it later.
That's right. It's kind of like everybody's on a multicolored, multi-vibrational, colored dragon, and they're just riding over the whole sphere of sorts, actually, not just this planet.
It's the first time that people are actually able to see cause and effect in a very short proximity if you're talking time frame.
Right.
A cause would be implemented. It would be implemented in such a way that you wouldn't even notice the cause because the results wouldn't show until way past people's attention span.
Right.
And then, therefore, you would disassociate cause from effect, and people just wouldn't even look to the cause anymore. They look at the symptoms or the effects, and that's when they could insert fake causes.
Right, and now the cause and effect is happening, just update-wise on IUV within 10 minutes. If I don't get an update, people are like, it's been 10 minutes.
Cause and effect are happening almost simultaneously at this point.
Right.
And there's no room for any fakery or fuck-uppery or however you want to call it.
Right.
There's no room for trying to make it something that it's not. And people are just too aware. Really, that's what's actually cut down this time continuum tool that allowed for cause to be disassociated from effect because people are too aware.
Right.
Something happens and they immediately look for the cause.
Right.
Immediately. And then they take down the fake causes that they're given. And they're like, nope. And they find the real cause. It's amazing.
And they're connecting the dots, too, outside of just the realm of what we all refer to as hashtag HATJ. They see announcements, they see articles, they see other things, and now they can very clearly ferret out where that dot connects and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, look, this has never been about one being. I mean, technically, yes, it's been about original, right?
Right.
Being in all its facets. However, everyone is doing this, and it is whatever catalyst. Right now, we're all sitting there going, hell, I'll be a catalyst. I'll be a catalyst, and you have all these people going, I'll catalyze, and I'll amplify. And here we are. Awareness has never been so great before. And really what is happening, on Friday when all that stuff happened, and mind you, I've been telling people about this Constitution. This goes to like Annabelle Rice and all these people talking about constitutions, and for the longest time, it was like nails on a chalkboard when someone would go, oh, we're going to reinstitute the republic. I was like, it never existed in the first place. Right? And this Constitution is a contract, and unless you were a signatory to it or inherited it, via family lines, you don't, that is not your contract. Right? That's what all if you actually read the filings, that's what it was talking about was, hey, let's go in and let's get this addendum of law done correctly. All right? So as we're sitting here, I said to the guys, they were like, it doesn't make sense. Even the federal defender, who honestly for the last week, I sat there going, I don't know if it's possible if this one shifts. I mean, really, truly. And we're in court, and the judge is like asking him, have you spoken to her? Ms. Tucci-Jarraf, have you spoken to him? And I'm like, Your Honor, I didn't even call her Your Honor. I said, look, I think Mr. Boss and I have exhausted all conversation at this point. And it was true. But then when she supposedly trampled over a belief he is mired to, which is that the Constitution, everyone has constitutional rights.
Right.
Oh, right? So we're seeing one of the oldest foundational beliefs that everyone's been given to believe is true. It was made visible on Friday. It's not true.
And hasn't been, yes.
And it never has been.
Right.
Okay? And that shifted Mr. Boss instantly. And he was on fire. After that, it was recess. The judge didn't know what to do with me. Didn't know what to do with the case. And we recessed at least 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And Mr. Boss, after that initial he was like back in the back with me going, I don't understand what's happening. In all my career. Never, ever, ever. And I just looked at him and was like, this is what I've been talking about for a week, honey. I said, I told you law isn't what you think it is. And he was very contentious and condescending all week long. At that moment, he realized shit was going down that was much bigger than what he knew.
Right.
And at that point, he became this incredible, fighting angel. He went in there and he was like, I'm going to at least make visible that she's going to trample over everything. She's shutting you down left and right. He goes, I've never seen this. He goes, I can at least get it on the record and make it visible. I said, exactly.
Perfect.
I said, don't worry about it. I took care of this 4.5 years ago. No matter what happens, none of it counts. Praeterea, praeterea. Okay?
Right.
I've already protected everyone, including the ones that are stomping over all these beliefs. Their job is to make sure that everyone knows these foundational truths we've been given to believe are true are not true. And our job is to make a public record of it so that everyone knows. And then everyone can transition, realizing, oh my God, everything we've been given to believe is true isn't.
Right. Right. And it's interesting to watch people's thought process when they're engaged in what they feel moved to do, and they talk about things and they say, well, you can try this or try this, and they're still, kind of, as I say, being half pregnant. They're trying to suggest doing something that goes back to the old instead of letting that new inspire from within. So you're absolutely right with everything that's going on.
David Boss, who is the federal defender, that's all week long, right, or for 10 days, that was him and I going back and forth.
Right.
And I finally just said, look, let's agree that I know areas of law that you don't. You know areas of law that I don't. I said, I've never been in a jail before. I've never been in a DC court before, right? I said, so you know that area of law. I'm telling you, this is law. And you get it, okay? We don't agree on the law that's applicable here. So I said, let's just move forward. But when Friday rolled around and what he saw, it trampled on everything he puts himself to be an attorney for.
Right. And one of the things that we finished on the last call we wanted to pick up too on this call was I had mentioned that everything that everybody's doing is going into it's kind of re-updating original itself, which is re-updating all electronic, physical, emotional, everything within everybody, planet, and sources universe-wide. So if you can explain that a little bit more for people, that'd be great.
So what happened is this has all been, honestly, this has all been done since 2012, 2013. Okay? All of these systems, quote-unquote, that you see, electronics and otherwise, were actually updated, or I should say they were decoded and deprogrammed, and then recoded and reprogrammed. Actually, the decoding and deprogramming made visible what actually has always been there in the first place, which was original.
Right.
Original code, source code, etc. So what's happened is since 2012 and onward, you've had these electronic systems and devices, your routers for your internet, your TV channel, everything has been basically upgrading itself, so to speak, because these electronics, and that's where my stepmom, Vancy Holmes, who was in charge of doing all the electroplating for like Mitsubishi, Sony, IBM, all these people, and she worked with me at the end before she transitioned on all this stuff. She knew a lot of the technology that they had gone in and limited, number one, and number two, made it so that it would keep everyone dumbed down.
Right.
Which is why she wanted to work with me to basically undo all that she had done with others.
Right.
okay? And so I had that information as we worked forward. It was a matter of looking and saying, okay, here we go. And you had Caleb, of course, who's a programmer, and you have Bill, who's a programmer, and everything else. So as we moved along, there were all these glitches, whether it was in banking, communications, retail, commerce in general, education, government. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times the IRS supposedly was hacked. Right? And now they have a lockdown facility. If you want to go to the IRS to get anything, you have to make an appointment online, and then you have to be approved for the appointment. And then when you go in, it's a lockdown facility where a guard has to let you in one by one, and only so many people can go in.
Right.
This is the kind of thing when you look at these glitches, and I put most of it out on the website before I changed it. I had put a lot of those articles out there so you could see all the glitches that have been going on, glitches in quotes. That isn't. That was the original network coming in and changing everything. So what happens is the Federal Reserve, it's what they know, and this is what they're experiencing right now, okay? Their systems and their whole case against Randall Bean and myself hinges on the fact that they say, and they don't, it's just the DOJ, the U.S. Attorney, saying these accounts don't exist at the Federal Reserve.
Right.
It's a complete lie. Okay? And everything else, all the other allegations hinge on that one fact, which isn't even a fact. So what happens is when people were, for these accounts and everything else, if you look at the electronic system, ACH, they try to equate it to a check. And back in the day, in the 80s, 90s, etc., you would write a check, supposedly, and then it would go through a manual process. You have the human eye looking for these things.
Right.
Now you have an automated process, and believe me, if the account doesn't exist, it's not going to transfer anything.
Right, and all the people who had things go through, I myself was one of them, and several, just under $2 million, and they wouldn't go through. They're not going to give them to me for the goodness of their hearts, so, they took it back afterwards, but they're there.
They had to manually go in.
Right.
The codes, remember, it's all source code now, so it
right.
only recognizes original. That's what all the filings that I did, that Caleb and Randall and I did, including the last one, which only I did, which shut everything down and locked it to where it was, is that everything recognized only original, okay? And so they had to manually go in and start changing everything. Now what's happening is they are literally being denied access. This is what's rolling in now, which is why they're reconsidering alliances.
You have 1 minute left.
Reconsidering alliances is that the feds and everyone else are going to be locked out of even accessing things manually.
Okay.
So what we can do, DZ, is, do you want me to call you one more time for any?
Yeah.
I know you had questions, so give me about a half hour, and I'll call you back.
Okay, great. Talk to you then.
Okay,
bye. Hi.
Hey, DZ.
Okay, long time no chat.
This will be the last call that I'll be able to do because they locked down at 9:45.
Yeah, that's fine, and that's good because I'm sure you could probably feel it, but the energy of people pushing to for me to hurry up and get this call out is hysterical. Okay, so
I want to say thank you to everyone. I mean, this is amazing to do this with everybody. And
great.
I can feel everybody doing and being in ways that just have never been done before. So thank you to each and every one, and I'll put out personal thank yous when this is all over. So, okay, you have some questions for me?
Yes. What I did was I basically boiled them down into two basic questions. So the first one is people are very excited about what's happening, especially as the updates come out. They want to do things. They want to, and they now are in the habit of knowing to do what they're moved to do instead of asking, "What should I do?" And check in with themselves and do that. They're working together, all that kind of stuff. So, one thought is to do things and spread the word more and awareness more and awakening more. You mentioned that earlier in the call that the awareness level has never been seen ever before. Mm-hmm. So what I would boil the question down into is, as people are feeling moved to do different things, Is it helpful to continue to spread awareness, however that shows up for them to do? And is it also valuable to start dancing with the possibilities of Nova Gaia and where we want to go in this next moment that's just about to unfold?
Oh, absolutely. Number one, always do what you feel to do. Literally, I'm not going to tell anyone that there's templates or forms. You've known me long enough to know that I would never give that.
Right.
Because all it does is limit. So whatever anyone feels to do, I trust you. I trust all. That's the original network, right?
Right.
In my experience, everyone's doing just perfectly. As far as focusing, whenever I do any kind of doing, and I'm usually very quiet about the doings that I do. And that was because there was really no reference point for most, the majority of people to actually even understand what I was doing. Half the time it looked crazy because nobody had the reference point. Okay? So when I would go in and do something, it's literally I look at the results and I focus on the results. Whatever the details are for me getting from wherever it is I perceive to be to the results, I just put my chin down and I barrel right through them with the best of my abilities. I only focus on the end result. And the beautiful part is as I'm encountering all the details, I'm actually refining the result. So it's that and better.
Yes.
That's my experience, and I share that with everyone, but please, everyone should do as they feel to do, always. I trust your hearts. I trust everyone's hearts.
Okay, great. So it feels, I'll just take me as an example, for my doing to continue to make connections and share the energy out for more people to connect with it, more people to see, more people to do whatever works for them in that moment of awareness and expansion within themselves because they come into contact with something. And that feels really good. The other thing that feels really good is to now see, literally take us so we're all together, all of the all, whatever role they played, now coming to the next part, and we all are co-creating whatever that is, and then start to play with it. Wouldn't it be wonderful if, or it would be, fun to dance with this kind of a thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone has always asked me all the way along, what's your goal? Like, what's your intent, Heather? And my thing was that everyone has the opportunity to be empowered and to do as they feel to do. And it's been consistent all the way through.
Right.
Now, how the details look, obviously we see the details that are already done, at least the ones I made visible. Now this is one where everyone's going in and they're doing their details, but everyone, literally, even whether they speak of it or not, they are all focused on this new, call it whatever you will, New Earth, Nova Gaia. You give it a name, all I know is that everyone's focused on it and they're feeling it as they bring in the details and the identifications. And it's something that we've never experienced before. So it's beautiful. We've refined perfect to the point where perfect has now transcended its former definition.
Yes.
Okay, so does that satisfy?
Yes,
does that actually answer your question?
That's great. And then just one thing related to that, and then we'll go on to the other question, is to just expand or reiterate whatever you feel moved to do about that. That everyone, you've gone out there, you're the visible thing because people saw you in court and all that kind of stuff. They've seen the filings that you filed and all that kind of thing, and you were on recording. So they've seen that. And some of the tendency is to peg, well, Heather's doing this. She's amazing. She's great. You love her. She's doing this. And that's true. But we're all doing this. So if you can just expand on that. So I think that's a very important point from my perspective for all to really hear.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. I've worked for years to make sure that everyone is empowered and then utilizing that power. First you have to know it exists, and then once you know it exists, it's kind of like, okay, what do I do with it? And having everyone just utilize it how they feel to do. I do not say these phrases or these words lightly. I don't say them just to hear my own voice. Go within. Feel. Do as you feel to do. And have confidence in yourself. Everyone in this whole experience are all masters, or you wouldn't be here. This isn't just about Heather. This isn't just about, BZ. It's not about just one. This is about all. And everyone recognizing. This is about recognition and self-recognition. It's about acceptance and self-acceptance. I personally want to put all I am into this, into empowering everyone, if I thought it was just about me.
Right.
Okay, but I also know that everyone is sitting there. They're so capable. BZ, the capabilities of every single one. I experienced them before others are experiencing them in the past. Now people are experiencing them. What I'm experiencing is the joy everyone is feeling when they sit there and they go, oh my God, I really am valuable just by being.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I really am that powerful. I can go and I can do this. The joy that everyone is feeling, that's what I'm experiencing now. And it's so worth it, BZ. Everything that I've ever put into it is so worth it. That was my role for a long time, has been to empower others so that they can do, and then they empower others, and it's like a Calgon commercial.
Yes.
I think I just dated myself there, but anyway.
Me too. I use that example too.
Oh boy. That is the point. It is everyone. I got to tell you, my mom and my dad and my sister, nobody really knew what I did for years. Loie knew more than anyone. But I'm sitting here now, and I see all this healing going on, and all this awareness coming in, even from my sister, and my sister and my father are just incredible beings. My mom and my stepmom, I mean, I have a lot of extended family here. They are beautiful beings. My children, you said, I want to quote Loie, and she said towards the end before transition, Heather, my family was so much bigger than what I knew it to be. And she was talking about all you guys.
Yes.
And that's how I feel, and that's how I've always felt. So we're doing this together. It's not just Heather's doing what she feels in her heart to do, but I'm jumping for joy as everyone else is feeling in their heart what it is that they're to do. And I can tell you it's completely strategically coordinated.
Yes.
So I thank everyone who is doing what they feel to do, even if that includes not doing anything. Because you know what? When it comes down to it, we also need that experience, because that will never happen again. Never in existence will we have someone who sits there and goes, I'm not going to do anything. Because what is the point of being?
Right.
So I'm grateful to everyone. No matter what anyone thinks, this is all about all of us.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Excellent. Now, the last one, again, is a kind of amalgamation of the various different questions. Do you have a sense how the families will flow, announcements will flow, unveiling will flow, fill in the blank, and then your sense, or their sense?
Well, let's put it this way. When I look back at all the stuff that the state, D.C. just put in front of me, because I didn't have a lot of the data from FBI and all that, right? I see a lot of backdating of things. Like they were just trying to put shit together.
Right. Well, you were arrested on several dates.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently. So, and then not even that, they had to try to figure out, because they didn't know what court to take me to. They were like, do we take her to Superior Court or do we take her to Federal Court? I was like, excuse me? They're like, well, in Superior Court, there's supposedly a fugitive of justice. I go, what? A fugitive of what? I was like, I'm having deja vu here, right? And they were like, well, they said that you fled. I was like, how do I flee when they literally put my hand, and I go, sure, that's okay. Trump International has tons of videos.
Right.
We'll just get the videos. And they put me, this is the best part, they put me in the car with the officer that would have had to have declared that I tried to flee.
Right.
And they put me in the car with him alone. And by the time I was done with him, he's sitting there going, I go, under what authority? He goes, oh, I don't know anything about your case. I was like, what? He goes, I'm just a transport. I said, you know, I said, it's interesting until when we get to the DC, you know, D1 is what they call it. We sat there and I go, wow, you really did bring me to D1. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, well, you know, under the circumstances, it was quite a possibility that we would never arrive anywhere officially. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you know, just make me disappear. And he's like, huh? And then we started talking. And then he goes, here's the warrant. I go, oh, can I see that? Because I haven't seen it. He goes, I can't. And then he's talking about an NCIC, doesn't know that I've been a lawyer or an attorney for 11 years. And I sat there and I go, NCIC? He goes, yeah. And I go, does it say that there's a warrant on the NCIC? When was that issued? He goes, today. And I said, the 25th? He goes, yeah. And I go, does it show a warrant? He goes, uh-uh. And I said, and when does the warrant say it was issued? He goes, the 19th. I go, really? It takes that long to put it on the NCIC and it's not even showing? Next thing I know, he's asking for the jail to make copies for his own record. He knows he's about to be set up for something.
Right, right.
And so at that point, they couldn't get him to make a statement. The FBI couldn't, so they literally had to make up this whole, you know, the one thing that I'm known for stopping, they actually charged me with, or tried to. I still haven't been charged with anything yet.
Right.
And we're taking care of that now. So anyways, what I'm going to say is the families already know that it's been, and this is the original coming out. Original in them makes it so they fuck up so that it's visible and they just can't recover from it.
You have 1 minute left.
Yes.
Right?
So what's the sense?
The sense is that they're going to go in and make some really big choices, changed choices from what they were making before, inclusive of this whole case just going away and everyone getting to use their accounts.
Okay, so everybody should polish up their happy dance shoes and
keep
doing.
Focus on the result, guys. They want to know that they're not going to be strung up for this, for what's happened so far. I'm saying nobody strings anyone up. Got bygones be bygones. Now let's all party.
Absolutely. All right, I love you. We all love you.
I love you, too. I love everyone. Thank you so much, everybody, and hugs and loves, and I've got a dance for everyone. Let's do it.
We'll rock this post in. See ya.
We got this. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Thanks, BZ.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The caller